Okay, so Unit 12, we're starting with data and statistics, which means we're going to be looking at lots of graphs, lots of plots, and lots of data, which is just long lists of results from tests and polls. And what we're going to be doing is be able to make predictions from the data that we are given, and that's called statistics. So today we're looking at what is called a box and whisker plot. So a box and whisker plot shows the distribution of data, which means it just shows how the data is spread out through any type of poll or set. So we collect data by, have your parents ever been called at home, asked to take a poll? Or like when we vote and you tell the pollers who you were planning on voting for so that they can estimate who might win? That's kind of what this is. It's also, if I were to ask each and every one of you how many homework assignments you did for Unit 11, and then recorded how many, of you, what your score was on the Unit 11 test, that would also be data. So let's say, Emily, how many homework assignments did you do for Unit 11? 5, all of them? So she did 5 homework assignments, and what grade did you get? 94, so she got an A. Bree, how many homework assignments did you do? 6? 6?
Yeah,
there were 6? Oh, yes, Emily, you did 6 too. And what grade did you get? A, B, C, just tell me that. An A. So does that make sense? The more homework assignments you do, the higher your grade is? So that's what's called data and statistics, okay? Just an example. So we're looking at a box and whisker plot. This is what it looks like. There's some blanks in here that we have to fill out. Okay, for a box and whisker plot, this box part is called the box. What do you think these ends at the end are called? Those are the whiskers. Okay, a box, there are 2 parts to a box and whisker plot. There's the box and the whiskers, and then there's also the number line. And the number line shows us the distribution of data and results. Okay, so let's label the different parts of the box and whisker plot. Does anybody remember what the middle part is always called? Median. So this middle part, in this case it's 4, is called the median. Okay. The part where the box ends, the largest part where the box ends, is called the upper quartile. Quartile. What word do you see in quartile? Quart. What does quar mean? Like quad? It means how many? 4. So that means that our data is split into 4 different parts. Okay? So if the biggest part on the right-hand side is called the upper quartile, where the box ends, what do you think this one is called? The lower quartile. Okay, so that is called the lower quartile, the bottom part where the box ends on the left. Okay, and the whiskers extend to the smallest value collected from the data and the largest value collected from the data. The one on the far right where the biggest number is, that is called the maximum value. Okay, so what do you think the smallest point on the plot is called? Minimum value. Okay. Okay, so we labeled all the parts of the box and whisker plot. Now if we look at the top part, it's going to tell us about how the data is distributed. Okay, so now quartile has the prefix quar, which means 4, right? So this whisker contains 1/4 of all the data. So 1/4 of the data is in each whisker. So how much of the data is in the lower whisker? Also 1/4. Okay, So the largest fourth of the data is in this whisker. The smallest fourth of the data is in this whisker. So that means that the box contains how much of the data? 2/4 or 1/2. So 1/2 of the data is inside this box. The line in the middle of the box is the median, so that means that this half of the box contains 1/4 and this half of the box contains 1/4. So we broke up all the data into 4 parts. Does that make sense? 1/4 is here, 1/4 is here, 1/4 is here, and 1/4 is here. The box contains half of the data, right? Okay, and then we split the box in 2. So 1/4 of it is on one half of the box, and 1/4 of it is on the other half of the box. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 fourths, which all adds up to 1. Okay? The thing we have to realize about a box and whisker plot is this one is very symmetrical, right? They won't always look symmetrical. Okay? So let's look at the example. Example 1. Okay, it's a lot easier to understand when we put everything together. Okay, so example 1. The box and whisker plot below shows, the box and whisker plot shows the data for the number of touchdown passes Brett Favre threw during the first 14 years of his career. Okay, so these are all of the passes that he threw from his very first year of playing in the NFL to his 14th year playing in the NFL. I don't know. Is the box and whisker plot symmetrical? No, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Okay, so let's look at this. First question, what is the minimum number of passes he threw? Where's the minimum value? 0. The minimum value is the very last point on the whisker. So the minimum number of passes he threw was 0. That's the minimum. So what's the maximum number of passes he threw?
45.
The maximum value, which is 45. Nothing is touching 50. The plot ends at 45, so that's the largest value. Okay? What is the number of passes at the 25th percentile? So 25th percentile, does that mean it's going to be on the lower end or on the upper end? The lower end. Okay, this whisker shows how much of the data? 1/4 of it. So the end of 1/4 is going to be 25%. So how many passes is at the 25 percentile? 20 passes. Make sense? So this is 0%, 25%, 50%, 75%, 100%. Make sense? Okay. So what is the number of passes at the 50th percentile? Where's the median? 30. And what's the number of passes at the 75th percentile? Well, it looks like it's in between 30 and 35. So what would you call that? 34? 33? I would say 30. 33 would be more towards the center, right? I would say 34. Estimate. Okay, so what is the median? 30. The median is that center line in the middle line in the box. And what is the lower quartile? The lower quartile happens right here at 20. And the upper quartile happens right here at, we estimated 34, right? So the box and whisker plot just shows a whole bunch of the data and how it's distributed out. You can use all kinds of data. For the example we did, it was Brett Favre's passes. Okay, but all of the box and whisker plots are set up this way. All of the questions you will have to answer about box and whisker plots are similar to what we just did. Okay?